PlayStation Edge controller was never the only pro PlayStation controller on the market, and since its release there's been a sea of more offerings from competitors. Now, is the $200 PlayStation Edge controller worth it in 2024, or are you better off getting the $200 PlayStation Portal? In this video, I'll go over which features I actually ended up using on the PlayStation Edge controller as a casual gamer who has owned it since launch day over a year and a half ago, as well as some minor things that might make you not want to get it. Then I'll go over my experience with the PlayStation Portal and why you may want to go for this instead. Welcome back to seifbuys. I'm Saif. Now before we get started, I've put chapter markers below and feel free to watch at 2x speed if you want full context but are short on time. That's what I do, so I won't be offended. Now, while I haven't tried all the other pro level PlayStation controllers out there, I've watched and read enough about them to know that the PlayStation Edge controller you're looking at here is still the best option for the majority of people. The three main things that set it apart from the competition are that one, as of time of posting, it's the only one that has both adaptive triggers and haptic feedback, so you can feel the rumble, which are both welcome DualSense features that help deepen the immersion in the game. And I especially enjoy the adaptive triggers in Horizon as Aloy when she's pulling back that bow and you feel you're in the game, you feel you are Aloy in that moment. Number two, as far as I could tell, it's the only one with these half dome back buttons that you see here, which happen to be my preferred back buttons instead of these here paddles, which are available on pretty much all the other pro controllers, slightly different shape though. And often the other controllers have 4 of these back paddles instead of just 2 on this controller. But honestly, 2 for me is way more than enough. It just starts to get confusing otherwise. Like I had it on the Xbox Elite controller where I had the 4 paddles and I just never used the 4. Number 3, it's got the easiest, most seamless way of changing and cycling through custom mapping profiles, so you can freely change the button mapping to suit whatever game you're playing. So I can just hold this, change the button mapping profile if I'm playing Doom, switch over back to Call of Duty. If you're finding any value so far, please like and subscribe for more content like this. Not just posting PlayStation content, but looking to share with you my experience with some of the best tech gadgets and accessories I can get my hands on. Also, if you're interested in making videos like this for yourself, I've linked all the gear I use in the description below, so feel free to check those out and start making your own content. You just take whatever's in your house, you start reviewing it, and it's pretty fun, honestly. Now, the PlayStation DualSense Edge controller is not just for pro gamers. Definitely, I don't consider myself a pro gamer, but I found a lot of value in these specific 6 features. Number 1, the function buttons allow you to increase and decrease not just your headset volume, but also the game chat mix, which is something no other pro controller have, as far as I know, done. And it's invaluable when I'm playing Call of Duty. When people start munching randomly, or someone is on the voice chat and they're annoying, you can basically mute them without removing your hand from the controller. Just change the game chat mix and put the game on high and move the chat mix to low or 0, and then bam, you're done. You don't even have to remove your hand from the controller, and you don't have to pause the game at that. Number 2, the half dome back buttons are a delight to use in pretty much all games in my experience, from God of War to Doom to Call of Duty to GTA 5, all bangers and all made more fun by these half dome triggers, since I don't have to move my fingers from these face buttons to run, roll, or do whatever I need to do. So I'm always just bam, bam. Next one is the easy trigger adjustment. You just literally pop this thing here and you got a 1-up on most other players in Call of Duty or Warzone or whatever you like playing, and then you don't have to the trigger just stops there. So you don't have to press fully down, so that'll give you a 1-up because you have faster trigger fingers. Now, I haven't had to do this at all, but if you experience stick drift on the analog sticks, you can just remove and replace them by buying new ones instead of needing to replace the whole controller. So you can remove the entire analog stick piece. I haven't needed to do that. The sticks can be switched out to your liking as well, so I can remove these domes here. Currently I'm rocking, on the right hand side, I'm rocking a longer one, and on this one a shorter one, and they're both the dome configurations. And while I was mainly doing this to improve my aim in Call of Duty, I just appreciate it across all games, and it hasn't bothered me to change it. If you have a better Call of Duty config in mind, actually let me know in the comments, but this is what I've went with, and for me, for all games, pretty much. I just enjoy using it like this. Plus, I don't want to have to keep switching the analog stick every time I play a new game. I don't know of anyone who really does that. Am I gonna switch it out if I want to just play a different game every time? Now, we cannot end this without talking about this premium case that we have here that comes with it. Smooth hard shell case, detailed engravings, a back latch for charging while it's in the case, and room for the cable and cable clip on the inside, and all the buttons. And in all honesty though, in reality, I never use this because I pretty much just use the case when I'm traveling. Otherwise, I just put it on my DualSense charging dock, charging station, and I never need to use the case because I never need to adjust anything. This is all great, but it's not to say this is perfect. There are a couple of issues. It's only got 2 back buttons, whereas a lot of controllers have 4, and I may have mentioned this already. A lot of pro controllers have 4, but honestly, like I said, as a casual gamer, I really don't see myself needing more than 2 back buttons, and let me know in the comments if you think differently. I tried on the Xbox Elite controller back in the day, and it just wasn't for me. Also, number 2, the battery life dies in like 7 hours or so in my experience. It's quoted at 10, I believe, but if you're going around spending $200 on a pro controller, I assume you already have a DualSense charging dock, so you're just going to be charging it, and I can't imagine people are just sitting there playing for 10 hours at a time or 7 hours at a time. Actually, scratch that. I used to do that way back in the day. Now, that is all fine and good, but if none of that sounded appealing to you, let's see why you might want to go with the PlayStation Portal instead. Now, why would you want to go with the PlayStation Portal? You want to play at home but away from your TV. In my experience, this ends up with me being in bed when I can't sleep, and it allowed me to catch up with a lot of video games I would have otherwise slept on. Quite literally slept on them. But because I have the PlayStation Portal, I can just pop this up, wear my blue light blocking glasses, and I can just game in bed and not have to worry about it impacting my sleep too much because of the blue light blocking glasses. Links in the description. Now, if you want further context on the PlayStation Portal pros and cons, as well as comparing it to the backbone for your phone and the Asus ROG Ally handheld gaming PC, just click here. And if you'd rather learn more about the PS5 Slim Yin and Yang edition that you see to my right here, you can just click on this other video here. So you can click here, click there, click, go for whichever one you like. Thanks for watching. The PlayStation DualSense Edge and the PlayStation Portal are safe buy. This is safe buys, and I'll catch you on the next video.